Hi guys, Jem here. Welcome to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. Today is a fail on many levels. Normally I don't do introductions before we do just colour along page. However, I've got a bit of explaining to do today. First things first, it is absolutely chucking it down with rain outside and it feels like the middle of autumn, so that's not cool. And I don't think we're above probably about 11 degrees Celsius, which for this time of year is cold. The second thing that's put me on a Debbie Downer today is the fact that I had a catastrophic technological fail when filming the next part of the colour along. My camera has been playing up for a number of weeks and it seems to keep cutting out. Well, it is giving up completely. And the problem with it giving up in the middle of a colour along is that I can't uncolour what I have coloured. So I have managed to salvage one section of video, and unfortunately it is the part where I time-lapsed the colouring of the dorsal fin of the fish. So I didn't even manage to save a useful part. So what I'm going to do is I am going to switch to top-down view and I'm going to go through and explain what I've done in each part that I've coloured and also show you which pencils I've been using. And I'm really sorry guys, it's basically the best thing that I can do. It's the only thing that I can do so that you can continue to colour your picture and try and get it looking somewhere near what I have done. So the upshot of the camera situation is that at this precise moment I cannot afford to replace a camera. Most of you know I have recently got married. My honeymoon is coming up and we have a few other financial commitments that we are dealing with at the moment, so I literally just can't do it. However, thanks to the joys of modern technology, this is being filmed on my humble iPhone and so far so good. So we're going to stick with that and see how we go. I can still get the same video quality from the phone as I can from my old camera. So I'm going to give it a bash and see how it goes and we'll just take it from there. I may be forced into buying a new camera, but I am not going to jump into anything just yet. Okay, so before I explain the parts that I've coloured, I am going to put in the segment of video that I did manage to salvage, just for the sake of putting it in there. You know, these videos take a while to film and edit and things, and I feel it would be a shame for you not to have it in there. So I'm going to pop it in. So it is time lapse, but it'll just let you see what I've coloured. You know that I did actually sit and do it with the camera on, I promise. Just before we get going, you guys ask some really strange questions. Abby, if you're watching, this is for you. This is how long my hair is. It's like here. If I turn round, there you go, you can see how long it is. Abby had asked after seeing my wedding photo how long my hair actually was, because quite often when I'm doing these videos I have it pinned up or, you know, in a ponytail or whatever. It is super long right now. I did keep it as long as possible for getting married and I am long overdue a haircut, so I'm going to get like this much cut. Anyway, hope that satisfies your curiosity, Abby. Let's get going and try and sort out this colour along. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Colour Cave. It's Jem here and as per usual we like to play with art stuff. We are coming into the next part of our colour along in Kirby Rosanna's Animorphia. I keep going to say Imagimorphia and I don't know why. So since the last time, if you remember, I did say I was going to go and complete the rest of this tail fin, which you can see I have done. If you haven't yet coloured that and you'd like to do it now, you can just pause the video here so that you can see roughly where I've put the colours down. I didn't do anything different here to down the bottom, so that shouldn't be too much hassle for you. While we're on the subject of fins, I am going to go ahead and colour this top fin and I'm going to use the same gradient as I did down here. So it's going to be dark in at the body and we're going to work out to the paler colour. I am going to speed this up. I'm going to time lapse it because I am not doing anything different and you should be well enough practiced by now to know what you're doing. But what I'll do is I'll do a wee voiceover when I get to that point and maybe tell you a story or something, I don't know. So just a quick reminder of the pencils that we're using for the fins. It is all Prismacolor and the first one is Eggshell, which is PC 140. Yellowed orange, PC1002. And finally the mineral orange, which is PC10003. So I'm just going to get cracking on with this now, and as I say, I'll do a little voiceover and maybe put some soothing music in or something, just so that we can get through this, and then we can tackle the outside edge, which is a little bit more exciting. Okay, so I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, but first things first, I had to go and put a jumper on because it's bloody freezing. Anyway, so I'm just going to work from the top of the picture down and show you what I have done, and I'll call out the pencils and explain anything that needs explaining. So first and foremost was this dorsal fin that I was talking about, which I completed in the same manner as we did down the bottom last video or a few videos ago. So just to remind you of the colours for that, the first pencil was Eggshell, which is PC140, Yellowed Orange, PC1002, and Mineral Orange, PC1033. And as I say, I just used the same technique that I'd used down here, just going in the opposite direction. I did bring the darker colours much further over down at the very bottom here, and it was just to give some contrast and definition between that tail fin there. After that, I moved on to more of the wispy seafoam type stuff, and I did that in exactly the same fashion as I did down the bottom here in the last video. So the colours that I used for that were the sky blue light, which is PC1086, and the muted turquoise, which is PC 1088. And the method that I used for that was to put down a light layer of the sky blue light and then work in some of the muted turquoise in random areas, just where it sort of took my fancy. After that, I used another layer of the sky blue light, and then I went back into the muted turquoise areas and darkened down certain points, again just at random. And finally another layer of sky blue light, and I did that for everything that you can see round about, including all the little bubbles. And I also used that down at the bottom here with the top of these sort of waves. I did exactly the same method as I've used here, just in this part and this part. So that covers basically down to about here. For this little sort of tadpole dude, I gave him an eye again. I talked about that before, about them being a bit soulless. So I just used the same colours as I used for the body of the fish. And again, if you need a reminder of those, the first colour is lilac, which is PC 956. The second colour is Parma Violet, which is 1008. And lastly, the dioxazine purple hue, which is PC 132. And in addition to that, I used it also for these strange little tentacle type things. I had trouble figuring out whether these belonged to this little Kirby creature here. I think they might possibly be part of him. However, I just decided to make it part of the fish because I had done this down here and it just seemed to fit in better. But obviously do as you would like to do, as you please, for your own picture. Moving further down, the same thing again, this little guy here, exactly the same colours. And you can see I just left a wee sort of highlight in the middle. It's up to you whether you want to put the highlight in there or up round his eye. That's just a bit of personal preference. And moving on down, I did the same colours again here and also with this fish. And you can see I left the highlight along the top of his head there. And I used the darker dioxazine down the sides. When it came to the fins for this little fish, I skipped out the yellowed orange. I just put down a really heavy layer of the eggshell and then I went in with the mineral orange and I used that nice flicky motion and just brought some out from the underside of his gills and from the tip of his tail back towards his body. And I just did a very quick gradient here with the eggshell and the mineral orange, again skipping out the yellowed orange. And that's the beauty of Prismacolors, you can do that and get them to blend without too much hassle. So that was pretty awesome. Down in this corner, the colours that I used for that were the chartreuse, which is PC 939, I do believe. I say I don't have it anymore because my pencil's so short. And also the apple green, which is PC 912. And again, I used the same method as I had done previously over here, where I put down a light layer of the chartreuse and then a heavy line of the apple green on each side of these fronds. I then went back over it with the chartreuse, but I deliberately kept away from the apple green because I wanted that to be a nice defined line. So I used quite a heavy hand when I was doing that as well, just trying to not to blend the apple green in. The last thing that I did were these waves down at the bottom, and the colours that I used for that were the colours from the stamp from the previous video. So that was indigo blue, which is PC 901, and also the peacock blue, which is PC 1027. Now what I did here was, first of all, I took the indigo and I filled in the areas where Kirby has left some hatching and some shading, and I just tapered them off gradually to very, very light hand. And then after that I took the peacock blue and I coloured in certain areas using the peacock blue and blended it into the indigo. In some of these other spots I just put a very light hand of the peacock blue down and left a sort of white stripe. And you can see I've done it in that section and also this section here. Then what I did was I took the sky blue light that we'd used previously for our sea foam and I with a heavy hand, I blended over the top of those sections where I just had that little bit of peacock blue, and that's what's given this slightly paler colour. After that, I just went over everything that was left, including the indigo, with the sky blue light, and just blended it all together. And I took care to make sure that the peacock blue was quite dark round where I have done the bubbles in the previous colours. And that's basically it, guys. I didn't do much else. Doing the dorsal fin took up most of my time, and just working my way around doing these sort of sea foamy parts took quite a while. I did leave this one here just because it's attached to the bigger part on the other side, but at the top here I stopped at the crease. So that was pretty much it for what I achieved in the colour along, and when I skip through it like that, it's actually not very much, but I hope that's enough for you to go on in order to complete this section of the colour along. If you're unsure or you have any questions, or you know, as to how I've done certain parts, please leave me a comment in the section below, and I'm more than happy to get back to you and help you as best I can. All I can do is apologise again, guys, but there's really not much else I can do about this. So I hope you have fun with it, and hopefully by the time we get round to the next video, we're going to have less problems and going to have a bit more fun. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye bye.